I've not really talked about this too much, but when I first moved to London at the end of 2008, I felt this like a massive liberation from the anonymity that the city gave me. I hardly knew anybody when I moved here, and I think there's a separate conversation to be had about how people perceive our identity and how that can confine us. But even when I got to know people and some of the, kind of scenes that were going on, the city really made it easy to, to kind of disappear when I wanted to. And for me, an introvert at heart, this really gave me the freedom to allow my true identity that I knew was sort of lurking somewhere beneath the surface to come out. And then sort of fast forward, what, 17 years, and here we are. I mention all of this as my guest today has also explored some of these themes in her debut single, Nobody Knows My Name, a most beautiful song that refuses really to be constrained by that really horrible word genre, by fusing many different influences to kind of show what is possible when we allow our mind to be free from those constraints that are imposed by either society or an industry. And she just released her second single called Mysterious and Wild, which again shows just how inspiring music is when there's some element of experimentation and how it's really one language with common roots that's waiting to be explored. So I'll shut up now and introduce my guest today, who is Morenike. And welcome, Morenike. Thanks so much for coming on.
Hello, thanks for inviting me.
No problem. So I feel very lucky that I can handle this whole kind of thing of identity with much more of a, kind of like I don't care attitude. But that's because I've got older. But it's taken me a long time to get here, and not without facing a lot of, kind of contradictory things, I suppose, sort of dualities, along the way. Um, Maybe, can we kind of like start maybe just sort of talking, because this is relevant to, to your music, I think, your kind of experiences, how you sort of perceive those, those sort of freedoms, and I guess, kind of starting out in your music career and being very public, which is what it brings.
Well, actually, yes, as you said, like in my first single, I do explore this theme of being anonymous and how
Mm,
it can actually be liberating and cool, which
mm,
was like kind of like original view because I think most of the world right now it's really trying to not be anonymous.
yeah, yeah,
I think everybody has a bit, not everybody, but everybody's trying to be famous in some way, you know,
yeah, yeah.
being famous for being famous, which I think is something new if you think about it. Like once you had to do something to be famous, now you can just be famous.
True.
And it
Yeah,
was surprising to me to realize how cool it was to be anybody because I think one of the most difficult things when it comes to changing is maybe being aware of the way other people perceive you
yeah.
and to move forward from that. I think it's a bit limiting. And yeah, then after that, I moved to Paris, which is also like a city where you can really like totally get lost and be
Yeah,
um, um, yes, not perceived in some way. And for me, it was really liberating because I felt like I could
yeah,
do it. I wanted, I could try, without having any form of embarrassing and allowing myself to experiment with life, maybe in the same way I do with music,
yeah,
and different things and um, just follow my instinct more.
yeah, yeah. I think
Yeah,
I
because
mean, that's, so carry on.
no, I think that most of those fears, if you think about it, are actually more um, mental than physical.
Yeah.
Like you care about what people think only if you go and think about it. But if you live more with your instinct, you don't even have like the time to think about what others think sometimes. So
I, I mean, I definitely went through that for like a lot of my life, kind of worrying about what people thought, and it's interesting, isn't it? Like you said, people have this, when you've known somebody for some time, you see them a certain way, like they behave a certain way, uh, and when they change, because our identities change, and when they change, it's different. Your mind has to kind of adapt, and I definitely kind of found that, as I changed, thinking, okay, well, people don't expect me to be doing this sort of stuff, or either looking this way and think the way that I dress perhaps and things like that, as that sort of changes. And it can play on your mind. I mean, I care about it so little now, but it kind of took time to get here.
Yes, of course. Like I feel like at first it feels I don't want to say like it limits your freedom in some way.
Absolutely. I
Like,
agree.
and that's important. It shouldn't happen. Yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't need to happen. And when you have human relationships, sometimes it's hard to change and
Yeah.
to see other people change too.
Yeah.
And that's why sometimes a lot of people get lost in the process.
Yeah.
That way, like changing also becomes an act of letting go, because maybe some people or some places don't serve you anymore,
Very
and
true.
to force yourself to stay there is just going to be painful and not authentic to your growth. And if you
Yeah.
think about it, why should you like stop yourself from growing?
Absolutely right.
And if that, like, for me, that's a really important thing. I never want to stop learning and growing. And I'm also really open to admit when I was wrong, and say, okay,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna change. I like to change. But yes, like sometimes you have to make some decisions. You have to let go a lot of places and things, and I think that's what makes it harder.
Yeah.
Let go, like for example, now it's the first time for me. I haven't seen my family in so long, and sometimes it does get to me in some moments. But I feel okay. I need to. This is my journey. This is where music brought me, and I really hope it's gonna bring me like to even more places, because
Yeah. Yeah.
I would like to make this human experience as rich as possible. And by rich, I mean like rich of experience.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, sometimes it doesn't feel right. Maybe old friends, how many old friends
Yeah.
maybe you lose in the moment you change and the moment you want to try something else. But it's
I've
normal.
I've definitely found that that sort of situation, with kind of friends that it's interesting because I think back to my parents who are dead now, but they had a very different kind of life. It's a different generation, and they kind of like had friends for life because people's lives didn't change as much. I don't think there was as much awareness of these sort of things that we're talking about. It was just like kind of accepted that this is what your life is. This is how it is. And now I think there's much more awareness, and I think because of that, because they were more um rigid, I guess, that kind of fed through to me, that because that's who I learnt from. And I wish that, with what you were saying, I wish that I'd kind of known that when I was younger, and maybe this kind of like attitude would have helped me, to to not worry and to accept that, okay, friends are going to change and you'll lose people, you'll pick up new people as who you feel you're more close to, in your values
Yeah,
and
yes,
way
yes.
of
There's
being.
a lot of guilt, I think, when it comes to that for the first times.
Yeah,
Like uh, the first times it happened, and even when it happens now, it's still painful. Like
yeah,
letting, like you have to really reach a certain level of spiritual awakening. I think to be just able
you
to let
do.
go of things. Like there's this movie I really liked, and I saw it like a few days ago. It's like a movie I think a lot of people forgot about, but it was actually cool, which was Life of Pi. There's the guy on the boat with the
Ah, oh
oh,
yes. Oh my God.
that was so cool. Like I just thought about it. I was like, wow, that was like I think it was pretty popular when it came out. Everybody forgot
It
about it. It's
was.
actually a really beautiful movie. It's so
Oh my
beautiful.
God.
And there is this phrase which says like the guy tells life is a continuous act of letting go. You know, and that's true. In some way, the less you're able to let go thing, the more you get stuck in life, because
Yeah,
you're gonna like it's a bit dramatic, but we are going to lose everything at some point. Like
Very true.
nothing is supposed to be eternal. Even like our
Yeah.
body change and will die, and everybody's gonna die. Everybody's gonna move and change.
Yeah.
And the more you accept it and the more you let it go, I think the more forward you can go. But if you grasp into things and you get really attached, attachment.
Yes.
Um, the more you get attached, the more you can risk staying in situations and places that don't serve your growth.
And I think eventually, if you do that, it kind of eats at your inside
Mm-hmm.
like so much. It's like, and it becomes like I've got to do something about this because you kind of constantly thinking that thing of authenticity. You can't be who you truly are around this particular person or this group of people because you think, okay, they think that I'm this person, but I'm not. And it's a really it yeah, it really holds you back.
Yes,
I
I will
think,
do a lot. Um,
uh,
yeah, but I
yeah,
also think, I do really think that we get a lot of tests in life.
yeah,
A lot of situations are really like almost levels of a video game you have to win to go
yeah, yeah, that's a good
forward.
way.
And if you don't win, you're just going to do the same episode all over again. Even if it's not the same, you can find yourself in the same situations. I think because life needs to test if you really learned a certain lesson.
That's very true.
Maybe you think, now I can go through that. I'm never gonna find myself in that position again. And after 2 months,
My God,
you're in the same position.
my God, do you know, I'd never thought of it as a video game, but it's like you
I, I
kind of
do.
going through the levels.
I do live my life not like I'm in a video game, but I
Yeah,
do feel it sometimes. That's
that's
cool.
amazing. I think that's brilliant to kind of help you sort of visualize it and think of it with something that's real life. Yeah,
Yes,
I'd love that.
so it's cool. Even like when you customize your character.
Yeah,
For me, like for example, I looks have always been a way to express my what I was thinking at the time.
yeah,
I do is like I do feel a bit in a video game because I really had the sense of like having some tests in life. And you know what? I think that also comes with the fact that at some point I stopped going to school. It's
yeah.
like I used to study at the conservatory. No, actually, like I finished high school in 2020. So
Okay.
imagine that year was also a bit weird because we didn't really
Yeah.
actually go. And after I had 1 year where I studied archaeology at the university, but
Mm.
then I didn't want to continue, so I had another year where I didn't study. And then I got accepted at a jazz school, conservatory.
Oh, amazing.
I studied for the first year, then I got tired. Like so, in some way, um,
So
exam for me, were not the test. I feel like a lot of people have that as a test in their mind. I have to do
yeah,
a certain exam, but since I basically skipped school in the last years, I feel like my personal tests were more about life situations. You know what I mean? Like I don't know why, but like I'm pretty young, but in a certain period of my life, I had to confront really deep situations, like pretty
right.
early. Then it kind of got more. No, actually, it kept being really intense.
Pretty
Like
intense. Yeah.
situations. Yes, I didn't have any more that life where maybe you live with your parents and you study and that's your main focus. But I moved alone when I was 16, and then everything was more vital in some way. But I also really wanted that.
Yeah.
That has been a bit my school lately. So in some way, yeah, that's why I started to see a bit of like a video game because the test was not maybe about what I studied, but what I've learned from a certain situation. You know.
Yeah. I do. Yeah. No, I mean that's really yeah. I mean those kind of lessons. I
Mm.
think when you're able to look back at it, even at the time when, as you say, when it's really intense and difficult, and kind of whatever emotion you're feeling, when you're able to look back and see what you've learned and how you handle that, and then how you've been able to, I guess, kind of learn from that and use it,
Mm.
kind of for the future. As hard as it is, it's helpful. It's a good thing to have. I'm not
Yes.
saying, we should have those experiences, but that kind of learning, I think is,
Mhm.
I mean, it's the kind of sort of stuff that, that I really do think that we need more of.
Mm.
I'm not saying everybody should go through those sort of situations, but to have those actual kind of experiences, just, you learn a lot.
Mhm. Yes, yeah, absolutely, you do. But also when some experiences come to you,
Mm,
I think sometimes you need this type of mentality to not think, "Oh, life is so bad."
yeah,
I'm fortunate, I think it's important to try to view as many things possible as lessons, like especially when you go through some type of pain or sufferance. You need to
yeah,
try to get something even from that.
yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, it's really difficult, but I think looking back, this is something that really gave me a lot, like a lot, really fast.
I mean, if I mean, what are the kind of influences have you had, kind of good, bad, positive, influences or thing, people, either people or people you've been around or the places that you've lived that have kind of helped or helping to sort of shape who you are, I guess, kind of give you your identity and I guess your kind of like resilience.
Well, I could say like 100 of things because I'm really
Yeah,
a type of person. I learn from everything
everything. Yeah,
because that is my way to feel nourished and like
yeah,
I'm earning something. I like to feel
yeah,
from every situation I can earn something,
yeah.
just losing. So I can learn from everything, from a old person, from a kid. Like I have this
Mm,
mentality. And but for example, like something I think really for me was the fact of moving a lot since I was
yeah,
really young, like for the first years of my life, because I was born in Dublin and we moved a lot of houses, even inside of Dublin.
yeah,
And my mom used to make me travel a lot when I was really, really young.
yeah,
And then I moved to Italy, and it was like a totally different situation. And then I moved to
yeah.
Rome, and then moved to Paris and Milan. Like I've been pretty like moving a lot since I was a kid. And I think that
Mm,
really helped me form this type of attitude, which is
yeah.
yes about letting go. Like I never had the chance to get used to something or an environment.
Mm,
Even in the place I stayed for the longest, which was near Rome, in the countryside. Even though I stayed here a lot of years, I remember uh, I never decorated my room because I always felt like I was gonna leave soon.
right.
I don't
Yeah.
know. Like at the end, I did it because I was like, okay, even if I decorate it, I can also bring this stuff in my next house.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I love interiors and stuff, and and yeah, but I always had this feeling that I was going to go away.
Mm,
Like even here, I don't know. Like I always have this. Um, I don't know. It's strange. Like I have even a hard time forming habits.
mm,
Like for example, I feel like I do something different every day. I don't have
yeah.
a routine,
Right.
but it's even like I think a bad thing sometimes because I'm like, what? Why did I stop doing that? It was okay.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's
like I
it's
feel like I'm always ready to leave.
yeah. I mean, it's interesting. I mean, those kind of things do stay with you. I mean, I've looked back at some things that happened to me, in my childhood. I remember, when I think I was maybe about 8 years old, and I was playing football, in the school field at the back of my parents' house, and it was a stupid thing, but um, I had to go in, and like kids do, I took my ball with me. It was my ball, and I took it with me, I was a kid. And one of my friends that I was playing with went to his mum, and he said to her, "Oh, Giles has just told me to fuck off." Right? And I didn't do that. And the next thing I go, my mum says, "Your dad wants to see you." So she'd been across the road and told my dad, and basically the my dad believed my friend over
Uh,
me. So
Mm,
now, like many years later, I still have a problem with people who don't trust what I say.
mm.
It's
No,
it's it's weird how how it just stays with you. That and I do you know when that I can still picture the scene when I went to see my dad. I can still see that.
mm-hmm. Get
It's
it.
wild.
Like it feels like betrayal, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
that's pretty
You know,
shitty.
it's pretty
Maybe
shitty, isn't it?
worse. You know, it's funny.
Yeah,
I hate it so much, like this backstabbing uh,
yeah.
dynamic. But it's funny because you focus more on the reaction of your dad. Like, for
Mm,
example, I had similar situations, but what hurt me the most was like the fact maybe a friend told something that was not true about me,
yeah,
and
that's true.
yeah, that
Yeah, yeah.
like even like in my life, I had more like friendship heartbreaks,
Mm,
romantic ones. Like when friendships end, and this goes back to also the what we were talking about before, you know, about letting go. But it's so painful. I don't know.
yeah.
Like your trust is being like, uh,
Well, it's interesting you observe that. You're totally right. But after that, I definitely found it easy to kind of let friendships go.
uh,
You know, just like I would lose touch with people
yes,
quite easily. And
yeah,
I think yeah, you're right. It's probably related to that.
yes, because then you're like, okay,
I
like
know.
yes,
Gosh.
it's strange. I feel like I let it go easier now in an active way. Like I don't
Yeah.
maybe force conversations that are not going anywhere. But I think
Yeah.
mentally I can hold the grudge like a lot. Like
Okay, right.
a
Yeah.
lot of time. Maybe I don't do anything, but I still resent you a bit. I don't know because I feel you know what I think like when I feel like I'm friends with somebody, like I'm really loyal, like and I
Yeah.
think like you can really see when somebody's your friend when you're not. I think the moments where somebody really proves that he's your friend is when you're not there,
Yeah.
you know, and I'm like having that sense of almost like protection, you know, as your back. And when you discover that they talk shit about you, it's so bad.
It's so bad, isn't it? I know.
So bad. Like sometimes I'm like maybe I'm overreacting, but what? Because it's funny because it always comes to you at some point.
Yeah, yeah.
Like they
I-
talk to strangers, it will arrive to you in some way, and it's always so painful.
it really is, yeah. So
Like I will protect you in any like if I'm your friend. That's like,
yeah,
you know, I like have your back always. You know, there's a bit
so
this. I think
so
in Italy it's a thing. You know, also.
there's that loyalty. You have that kind of
Yeah, friendship is almost like a in Italy. Friendships felt like a clan. I don't know if you can
yeah.
say
Yeah, yeah,
something
yeah.
really like a brotherhood or
Yeah,
sisterhood. You
yeah,
know.
no,
So in the
I get
moment
you.
you are not loyal to me and you do something on my back, it's really bad. You know,
Yeah.
I cannot trust.
So with I guess with moving around quite a lot when you were young, I mean, how did that impact your, you know, your friendships?
It was really messy because like every time I made new friends, I had to maybe
You
change
had to
house,
move.
school.
Yeah.
I had to move. Also, like something really particular I think I've experienced that made me a bit more introverted and solitary is the fact that um, from 6 to 18 years old, I lived in a house in the countryside, but like in the woods. Like the
Mm.
nearest little city was like 40 minutes walk, you know?
Wow.
And
Yeah,
so it
yeah,
was really like I used to have like the school bus that brought me home after school
yeah,
from elementary to like middle school.
yeah,
And the thing was that after school, like a lot of kids used to meet and maybe go to the park and go play. And I
yeah.
went back home. So I had half of my days in total solitude because, you know, I
Mm, mm,
worked, there was my grandma, but I used to do my things, you know, draw and do music. But that made me spend a lot of time alone.
mm.
Also, after in high school, I used to travel. It was a bit far away, so a lot of time on buses and trains. So, yes, I think that made me a bit solitary in some way.
Yeah.
for sure. And
So
when it came to friendships, it was also really messy because no, I do have a few friends that survived every every change. They're like my, the soul tribe. You mean like, okay, you're meant
this
to.
is the loyalty, isn't it?
This is big loyalty. No, it's cool
Complete
because
loyalty.
yes, with this type of friendships, you see you both change in some way. It matches, and
Yeah,
that's great. But a lot just fell miserably.
yeah,
Really.
yeah.
I don't know. Also, like, I don't know. I think it's because I'm so resilient, and I think it's something really present in my family. My mom told me. Um, I also like attracted in my life a lot of people that really, um, I don't know, they really didn't like me. Like,
Really?
people hated me, yes. And also, like, friends became people who hated me at some point.
Oh,
I
wow.
think that came a lot from, and it's weird because usually it was like at first a form of idealization and, oh, you're my best friend, you're the best person I've ever met, huh? And then, no, she's shit. It's
Oh
like,
my God.
and, and I think that, of course, I'm not perfect, and of course, there's some mistakes, but nothing really super bad. But they used to hate me a lot, and I think that came also from a form of frustration from the
Mm,
fact that they couldn't get to me. When
right.
because like I have this thing that even if you hurt me and I'm really pissed, I always try to use that energy to improve myself.
Yeah. So you don't let that negative energy, you don't show that to the other people. So that frustrates them that they've not been
Yeah,
able to
hit
get
it
to you.
harder, but that doesn't mean I'm not sensitive. I just like
Yeah, yeah.
also don't
You
like
just
to
don't show
go,
it.
and that made some people really mad at me. And sometimes when you get that type of reaction, you're like, oh my god, maybe
Wow.
wrong with me. But yes,
Yeah,
it's
no, I
actually
know.
that type of resilience.
It's interesting when you have that sort of personality where you're, I guess, kind of sort of introverted in some way. You've been um and then you're sensitive, but then you build this kind of resilience, to handle this. It's a protection, isn't it? Protection again,
Yes,
protection
exactly.
mechanism.
Um, yes, and always also sometimes I feel like uh, you can show yourself in a way that maybe cannot tell everything about your personality.
Yeah.
Maybe if you don't know me, you see I sing, I move like you wouldn't tell that
Yeah.
maybe I'm so introverted. But also I think it's because actually I don't think I was born an introvert. Like
Mm,
I was a bit in the middle when I was a kid. I used to be more outgoing. Now I have a
mm,
hard time like meeting new people. I'm a bit I want to be on my own, but that's because it's something I've learned by living in the
yeah.
country. I think I'm maybe naturally an extroverted, but I learn how to enjoy my
Your own
loneliness. So
company. Yeah.
yes, also like if I think about it, the things that changed my life were the ones I did on my own.
Yeah.
Like even
I mean,
just writing this music, I was alone, didn't see
yeah.
anybody for weeks, and it's what made my life so different now and so precious. I'm really happy.
I mean, I had something probably not as extreme as you, but I certainly had you know periods of my childhood where I was on my own, just because of where we lived and where I went to school and things like that. I got home from school later when everybody else was out, kind of doing their playing and social stuff and what have you, and I wasn't there. So I kind of missed out on lots of things. But I found like the good thing is that being in your in your own company is just it's really for life. It's really good because you
Mhm.
get used to, you start to, I think you get to know yourself,
Yes.
and um you're able to think. You're able to think for yourself more.
Mhm.
I think perhaps without as many influences,
Yes,
external influences, you
like
get comfortable with your own.
yes, like something I realized lately is that uh, I feel like I met a lot of people that really wanted to learn how to be alone, and
Mm.
that I had to do the opposite. I feel like for me, it's like for me, like human relationships are really stressful.
Yeah.
Like before coming
True.
to Paris, like I did a lot of different jobs to save money, and some of
Yeah.
them were with the public, and I was really surprised to find myself really destroyed at the end of the day just by
Yeah.
to interact with a lot of people. Like it's something that like I'm not a socialite.
Mm.
But I also had friends who were really socialite, and maybe the opposite problem of always needing to be surrounded by people
Yeah. By
and
people.
absolutely being terrified of spending some time alone. So I was like, okay, maybe we have to learn from each other. And, and yeah, exactly. I thought it was interesting.
So coming into I guess we should talk a bit about your music as well and how you sort of got into it. Because if I'm correct, you learnt the piano and also the cello. Now you might be surprised to know that I also played the cello when I was a kid.
Hmm.
Yeah. So how did you kind of get into those instruments and then the kind of the evolution into Morenike now?
Well, I started to play the piano when I was 8 because
Hmm.
the little city I used to live in, um, they opened a music school, and my mom thought it was
Yeah.
going to be cool, and I really liked it. So after that, I keep studying classical piano, and then there was this high school. I don't know if they exist outside of it, but they're basically musical high school. They're like
Hmm.
pre-conservatory, and I got the admission. And in that school, basically, you had to play another instrument that was complementary to the first one you had. In my case, it was
Okay.
piano, so they wanted to give me something with strings, and they gave me the cello, and I
Yeah.
studied for like 5 years. Uh,
Right.
but yeah, that was mainly a classical environment, like really classical
Same
environment.
here.
Like
Same here.
everybody, like listen just to classical music.
Classical
Classical music
music.
was
Yeah.
the best of the earth, and nothing. All the other is terrible. Shouldn't do this. Like if you want to do something else, go out. Like it was like this regime, and
Yeah.
like honestly, I think I have a pretty like rebellious kind of element in myself. So in the
Yeah.
moment you try to force me to do something, a part of me will hate it, which is something that I'm working on because sometimes it's just like nonsense. But since I felt like I had to only listen to the type of music, I didn't do it,
Didn't do
like
it.
the time led me to explore even more, even if it was not really popular in my environment. So I always listen to a lot of stuff. Like, like, I live in a way that I decide what's cool for me. Like, I
Yeah.
don't care a lot about trends or what other people think.
Yeah.
But if I decide something is cool, it's cool. Okay, you're not gonna change
Amazing.
my mind. Even if I'm the only one. Like there are people that maybe are not that famous that in my world they are like gods, and that's it. And yeah, so I listen to all type of music. I had also a really pretty hardcore phase. Like I was a
Mm.
big metalhead at my earlobe stretched. I went through it all,
Yeah.
jazz, hip hop. Like I was just curious about music and
Mm.
many ways it can express. And one of the genres that changed me a lot was like starting to listen to Arab music, Lebanese
Yeah.
music, Turkish music, and that really opened my mind. Indian music, like that's something that really opened my mind so much. And then I realized that a lot of the artists I really loved had a lot of this type of influences. Like I really loved Jeff Buckley.
Mm.
Was a big fan when I was a kid, and
Yeah.
then I found some elements of like Indian music and urban, like it was really cool. And yeah, basically when I was in Italy, I tried to make music like also in Italian, but it was really difficult for me because the standards of Italian music, I think, are really a bit strict and limited. Like I didn't find like
Mm.
the right environment. And the project I wrote that I'm publishing now just came from my desire to just write something for myself, like
Yeah.
without thinking, oh, they're gonna like this, they're not gonna like this, I cannot sell this. Just like for myself. Like I
Yeah.
wanted to create a music I would have loved to listen to. And ironically, even though I studied the piano and the cello, most of the music I used to listen to was made on the guitar.
Mm.
It didn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like I just always loved the sound of guitars in different ways.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was all I listened to. Like I never listened to music made on the piano, and I was like, this is doesn't make sense, you know.
Yeah.
And that's how I started to try to learn the guitar, which was also like the only instrument I never had lessons to play, you know. So it was totally like
You taught yourself.
yes, exactly. And I started to play with the
Amazing.
tunings and
Yeah.
different effects, and I found like a dimension that really inspired me really easily, you know. Not easily, but yes, the guitar is really inspiring for me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I felt, but I tried to write for a lot of years on the piano, and I did it, but I didn't find myself really well. I don't know. I prefer the guitar,
Did you?
the bass.
I guess guitar in a way is kind of it. It's not an easy instrument, but it's easy. It's perhaps easier to improvise.
Mm.
You know, with a guitar, with sound, with just the the kind of like the way that you play. I guess kind of strings are a little bit easier than that than perhaps
Yeah, it's a really
piano in a way.
it's like a totally different atmosphere. The guitar,
Yeah.
atmosphere where I find myself more comfortable than the.
Yeah.
Oh, I will still write for piano. I have a lot of ideas, but I feel
Mm,
that with the guitar, I also even like in like the sound of the string. For me,
yeah.
it's really inspiring. You know, it feels really timeless. Like it's
Yeah.
think about the string. It was like the after like the voice. Of course, it's the first instrument. Just
Yeah.
like the idea of picking a chord and creating different sounds is so antique. You know, it just wakes up something
Yeah.
really primal. And yeah, I really
Well,
like.
Here's the thing. So I gave up the cello when I was I think 17, and I had a very similar thing like learning classical, played
Mhm,
in orchestra. You know, I did some
mhm.
singing as well. I sung in choirs and played some solo cello stuff. And it just wasn't the right time for me. It never felt like it was my instrument. You know, like I was
So
kind of
heavy.
forced into it. But instead of having the I guess kind of foresight to carry on and do it play it differently. It
Hmm.
just wasn't the environment that I was in that allowed me to think like that and to do that. But I've about 3 years ago, I bought myself a new one. You know, just a sort of cheap one, just to see if I could get back into it, and I could. So I've started to get some. I've got basically like a pedal board now, where I'm kind
Hmm.
of like sort of plugging it in and with a microphone and doing some making some more interesting sounds. But I have to um, l- teach my brain to think in a different way
Hmm.
out of that kind of framework of classical framework into something that's a little bit more, I guess, kind of experimental.
Yes, it's really hard to get that mentality out of your mind. For me, it took a
Yeah,
few years
yeah,
because it was so heavy, you know.
yeah,
But you know, like for me, for example, it was cool to write on the guitar because at first I felt like, you know, I felt like I was in this dark room and I was trying
mm,
to, you know, when you feel the room,
yeah,
not using your most typical sense, which is your side, but with
yeah,
your hands, you know.
yeah.
And by not having any rules, I also changed the tunings a lot. Like I create my own tuning. Like there are no rules.
That's
Like
amazing.
it's like another instrument, and nobody can tell you that's wrong or right because
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
no, no, you're not. You didn't invent that, but it's a bit more. There are not so many strict rules. Like for
Strict
like
rules. Yeah,
me, I studied like classical composition a lot, and for me it was like the most stressful subject because there were so many rules. Like I felt like doing like a
yeah, yeah.
math
Totally,
homework, and
totally agree.
in some way it helped me have a really like I think clear vision of music, and for sure was a great exercise. But
I think it's a good thing to have that you have that because you can call on it when when you need to.
yeah, but you know the funny thing is that I don't know if I have that because I was always so resistant to this type
Ah,
of
okay.
learning.
Yeah.
You know, I think that at some point I started to think that classical mindset was a bit too Eurocentric, and
Yeah,
something
yeah,
that
absolutely.
started to piss me off at some point
Yeah.
because I really noticed a pattern and that didn't really like. Like I studied music for a lot of years, and we were always talking about the same authors, like the
Yeah,
same composers from the same region, from the same centuries.
absolutely.
Like uh, this, what
German,
would happen?
French, British, Austrian.
Like, and also, I would understand if the subject was called history of European music,
Yeah, yeah,
music history, and you
yeah.
always the same composers, the same from the same place. Like this cannot be right. What was happening in
One,
the rest of the world? You know, uh,
100%.
what were women doing? Like if you
Yeah,
start looking a lot of traditions from Africa, from Turkey,
totally.
Asia, there's a lot of more women presence, I think, which is also really cool because if you think about classical music, it kind of starts in churches.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, like the do re mi fa sol, all the letter, like the two letters, are the beginning of prayer.
Yeah,
Do re mi fa sol, and women that were not allowed to sing, and that's why they used to like cut men. I don't know
yeah.
to keep their voice. It was insane if you think about it.
It's crazy.
Also, if you like classical music as a form of rejection to rhythm,
Yeah,
which is something I also had to not erase from my mind. In some way, I
yeah,
realized that I didn't have much attention to like percussions, and in some way, it makes you think that it's something that it's a bit inferior. Like if you
yeah,
think about even great, incredible composition from the classical period, there's no percussions. Maybe it's just maybe something
yeah.
effect, you know.
It's interesting. It's interesting. So I completely agree with you. There's a cellist called Abel Salako, and he's South African, I think, and he does the most amazing stuff with his cello. It's a very he sings in in his kind of like indigenous voice,
Mhm.
and he plays with he kind of breaks all the classical rules. He uses his cello as a percussion instrument, so he kind of taps the body of the instrument, kind of create the rhythm, and the sort of the percussion, and the combination of all of that is just incredible. But you're totally right that is missing from.
Yeah, but like as I said, like every country has its history and it's great. It's a
Yeah,
beautiful tradition. I just don't like it when it's put on a pedestal. Like
absolutely. Yeah,
all
yeah,
the music deserves the same respect.
yeah,
And yes, exactly. There's this like I don't know, something like I noticed that a lot of things in classical music are considered wrong when they're
mm,
actually pretty hard to recreate. Like if
yeah,
you think about like polyrhythmy, like African polyrhythmy,
mm,
so difficult,
yeah.
so difficult for any drummer.
Very difficult.
And it's like I studied a little bit when I used to study jazz, but I think it didn't have the right attention. Also, Arab scales,
Yeah,
scales are really hard. That you have
yeah,
to
yeah,
really train your ear and your voice to be able to do that.
yeah,
And it's crazy that sometimes certain type of influences are considered like wrong instead in
yeah,
their settings. Or yes, we have this system of 12 notes, but
yeah,
there's so much more,
yeah, yeah.
you know.
Do you know Yasmin Hamdan?
Yes, yes, I'm a big fan.
You know Yasmin, yeah, okay, yeah, yeah. Yeah, she's great. I mean, I first met her it was in Paris actually, about oh, when was it? Was it before? It might have been before all the COVID stuff or just after. Maybe it was just after, about 2021, something like that. I think she's coming over to the UK soon. I think she's playing in London soon. That'd be amazing, yeah. But she's brilliant. I mean, the way that she uses her music is fantastic.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I just
Yeah,
be like here if it wasn't for her, I think.
yeah,
No, because like I would used to be a big fan
mm,
of Red Bug, and that's why then I sent my music to Mark, because I
yeah,
really
yeah,
like
yeah,
it's really cool. I really like the things she talks about and
yeah.
brilliant. Yes.
So that's, I mean, and with your music, I mean, all
But
those influences. Sorry.
not yet. I didn't even. I still haven't met her.
Okay, yeah. Oh, you should do. You should get in touch and meet her. She's brilliant. But yeah, so your music, some of the influences that you were talking about, like kind of like the sort of the Arabic influence, the sort of Indian influence, some of the sort of percussion, and then the kind of guitar as well. I mean, those influences that you're bringing together are just so great. I mean, there should be more people doing this, and just, I think, in terms of mindset, I think that open-mindedness and that kind of like sort of willingness, I guess, to kind of experiment and do it, and I guess doing it for yourself when you're truly doing it for yourself, the stuff that you like. I mean, that is so liberating to be able to do
Mm.
that without any constricts.
Yes, yes. No, it's fun. But I think that when you listen to a lot of music and you're exposed to a lot of genres, you kind of like for me, to me, it feels like I have like this inner archive of all this
Mm,
I listen to a lot. Also,
yeah,
and I no, I know a lot of music, but I feel like I'm more the type of person who maybe knows less songs, but I know them really well.
yeah,
Maybe I don't listen to a lot of different. Uh, no, no, I don't know how to explain it. But yes, the songs I know them really physically and by heart. And by doing that, and the moment I write, you kind of you go into this archive, and you're in
mm,
space to what you're used to listen to. That's why I also try to be careful to what I listen to. I try to be careful. If I don't want something to influence me, I try to avoid it.
yeah,
Even if I'll be curious, I don't know. I have this, and yeah, I gave myself the freedom to experiment, and I was also really lucky to find an environment that pushed me into experimenting.
yeah,
For example, before when I was in Italy, I felt like I had a lot of rules to follow, and
mm,
instead when I came here, like it really surprised me to hear like my producer say, try to do the most unique project as possible, which is like the
yeah,
opposite of it. That was really inspiring. So I think it's also important to have a right environment where you see a lot of people experimenting. So you're like, okay, let me try.
yeah,
And
yeah,
you also
yeah,
be willing to try and fail, because a lot of the experiments didn't came out really well, like,
yes, yeah.
and so you have to also allow yourself to do, okay, maybe this was not the best, but maybe the next one is gonna be cool. And yeah, but
I
it's
think, yeah, I think having having the right, environment with the right people,
mm-hmm.
to encourage you, and for you to not feel like there are any sort of obstacles for you, like, okay, there's a particular framework, or I can't do this because whatever. I think getting those right people around you. I mean, sometimes it's funny how that kind of works, and it kind of happens,
Yeah.
and you kind of find them. Sometimes you can't force it. Sometimes you
Mm-hmm.
whatever. But finding that is is the way really to to kind of help you to do that, and to kind of like, yeah, to encourage you. Having that encouragement.
Yes, exactly. Like I think everybody has a bit of an inner like essence, and
Yeah,
sometimes you have to understand where that type of essence can grow the best. And
yeah,
sometimes take some rational decisions. Like when I did
yeah,
the move, I really thought a lot about this. Like where can I grow in a way that feels the best for me and my work? What is the right
yeah.
city? Because I was also considering other places, but
Mm,
like I feel like even just like by saying that I had a nice feeling. I think it was the right moment. But like it's normal. Like I don't know, I always say maybe you have to go where your work is appreciated, and where you're
appreciated.
curious about it, also to motivate yourself, because yes, it's beautiful to write also for yourself, but of course when you have some sort of um, confrontation. Like it's more interesting
Yeah.
just doing it yourself.
Would you would you call yourself a perfectionist?
Yes, like in my own way. Like I
Yeah.
have an idea of how things should be.
Mm,
I can get really pissed off if I don't reach it, but sometimes I also surrender
yeah.
because yeah, sometimes it takes time, like something. Even if you're a perfectionist, you have to do mistakes to be able to correct it. Like perfection for me, it's a like learning from your mistakes continuously.
Yeah.
And yes, I admit I like to have as much control as possible to stuff.
Yeah.
But it's a bit of a, there's that movie I really love, which is a Black Swan.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
And when he says to her, like, perfection is also about letting go.
Yes.
It's rules.
It's true, yeah, and also, I mean, sometimes with with creativity, I mean, I also do some kind of like graphic design as well, and I have like a my own style that I've kind of, I guess it was a style that I just when I saw it, I was like, oh, okay, that works
Hmm.
visually for me. That really works. And that's what I do. And sometimes I'll design something and it's just like, no, it's not working. It's not working. I don't know what it is. It's like I'm just not feeling it. And then something will happen, and it'll be like, oh yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's the little bit that needed
Yeah.
to just like it just kind of clicks. Then
Yes, absolutely. Sometimes to reach that, you needed the thing that didn't work out.
you do, yeah, that's
Because maybe
true.
something about that was still cool and you can use it again. And
Yeah,
the eye gets more sharp.
yeah.
So it's always, yes, but yes, I would, yes, I am a perfectionist.
You are a perfectionist, yeah. But it's interesting, yeah. The levels of perfectionism and in what situations perfectionism comes in. Like I always think, so, like in sort of live shows, for example. I mean, I actually I love it when musicians or bands when they fuck something up, and it's like because
Yeah.
it shows kind of like that it's humanity.
Yes, but in fact, my idea of perfection is really complex.
Yes, yes, this is it. Yeah,
Yes, but I have my specific like idea of perfection, which is not a mathematical or kind of
absolutely.
perfection. Like I have my view, which can be also like only mine. But
Yeah.
as I told you, like I'm in my world and I decide what's cool. So I'm the president of my cool world, and yeah, perfection for me it's really complicated because I do love like think perfection needs some um, imperfection. It's necessary.
Yeah.
Like
Well, yeah,
I,
sorry, go on.
sorry,
No, go on.
like I cannot think that something. And you know what? I think I see perfection in a more natural, but I mean like nature way. You know,
Mm,
for example, an example I like if you look at a forest, all the trees are placed like not in a symmetrical way, but in some way, no tree disturbs the other.
mm,
Get this perfectly natural harmony. You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
we plant some trees, we're gonna do it like this,
yeah,
which is perfect, but it doesn't look as magnificent as the other one.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
No, so I think nature is perfect. Like if you
yeah,
see a landscape, the colors of nature never they always match. It's so
yeah.
cool. It's always incredible. No, there's never something that disturbs you. Like if you
It's
see
very
like
true.
the desert, like you have this in this planet there, and not only in this planet there are some really perfect things. Even if you think about the sound of animals,
Yeah,
like the birds, like they have a sort of structure which is not
yeah,
predictable, but it's perfect. So that's my in some way my feeling of perfection is something that feels natural, that is
Yeah.
mathematical. uh yeah, but it's more of a feeling.
I
You
agree with you. I totally hear you with that actually. When you think about the natural world, that that is what it is. And you don't look at a you don't look at a field or at the forest and think, do you know
yeah,
what? I wish that tree wasn't there.
no, it's beautiful. It's never disturbing. I don't know. Sometimes things that we create are disturbing if you think about it.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
AI music, or like really ugly
Yeah.
um, buildings.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you know, I was thinking of that example of buildings the other day. I was walking in London and I saw this old building.
Mm.
And I just thought it was just like, wow, that's really nice. And then there was just like this horrible, like new building next to it. I just thought, oh my God, we just kind of do this stuff that just disturbs the.
Yeah.
I mean, I know the old building is not is built by humans anyway, but still, there's now I don't know. It's yeah, I think you're right. That kind of like humans just have this ability to kind of disturb
Yeah,
the
but it's like
natural situation.
but when a human work is really well done, it feels like in some way,
Yeah.
like really well done architecture or
Mm,
music or art. Like it can have that beautiful feel. Like I have some songs that just put me in a really specific like landscape.
yeah, for sure.
Sound really together so well, and yeah, like it's more of a feeling that I'm looking for.
So, um, so what's coming next for you then? You have an EP
Yeah.
coming out soon.
Yes. My EP is going. Is can I say it? I
Yeah.
didn't announce it, but
Well,
yes,
it's up to you if you want to announce it
yes,
or not. 'Cause, I mean, I guess this will come out in maybe a
yes.
couple of weeks or something like that. So it's up to you.
I have an EP coming. Yes, and live shows. I'm really excited about live shows. Yes.
That's
Uh,
amazing. Will this be your sort of first? You've played live before?
I did play live before, but more as a singer, like just singing like jazz, other pieces.
Yeah.
Uh, it's the first time I do a live show with guitar and with my personal stuff. So in some way, it does feel like a first time, but it's not actually a first time. But it's
Okay.
also here in Paris, like it's different.
When are you going to be playing those?
What?
When are those shows happening?
I've one on the 26th of February, and then
Okay.
the others planned after that.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll come over and see you because I mean, I come over to Paris
It would be nice.
fairly often, and it'll be really good.
There's gonna be one for the release of the EP, which can
Okay.
really cool because I will play with other musicians, and that is my favorite thing.
Yeah.
I'm both scared and really happy, so a bit
I
of a
bet. I
feeling.
bet.
I have mixed feelings about it.
Oh, I bet. Oh, that'd be so exciting. Oh, you'll nail it. You'll kill it
I
for
hope so.
sure. No problem at all.
Yes. Thank
Right. Well,
you.
I guess I'd better let you go and get on with the rest of your day. But thanks so much. I could have talked for much longer. It's been brilliant talking to you.
Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. It was really nice. Cool question.